What's going on, people? We are Tottenham. What is it? Frozen?
No.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. We are back again with another transfer update. We know the midfield is sorted. We know the defense is sorted. It's time to focus on that attack. It's time to spend some more money. It don't stop here, people. Like we mentioned before.
Spend.
Exactly. Spend away. 3 names that we've got to bring to you today. First and foremost, let's talk about Savinho. Everyone knows the Savinho drama that's happened over the last year. Miguel Delaney said that there is still a possibility that Tottenham move for Savinho, having pushed hard for the Man City winger last year. Spurs journal has just said that talks regarding Savinho will now resume soon as Spurs aim to complete the move. Talks had stalled after the pursuit of Tonali, and Spurs are aiming to bring in 3 forwards before the end of the transfer window. I mean, Savinho, 3 forwards.
I said 3. I said they'll be aiming for 3.
And apparently, we're going to look to bring in Savinho.
Yeah, well, maybe there is some truth to the fact that we didn't want to give them money for Tonali. We didn't want to help them with their pursuits. And now we've got Tonali wrapped up. We can go, okay, now we're going to take Savinho off you, if that's all right, mate. And also, we know that Maresca's just joined, and we don't know what his stance is on Savinho. As I said, I would love Savinho. I think he's a quality winger, so creative, so quick, energetic. I think he gives us some real one-on-one threat on the wings. If we want 3, I'm absolutely more than happy for Savinho to be one of those 3. In my opinion, I think he would be a really good start, and he's also versatile. He can play on the right or the left, so that's also a really good positive. They are talking about 60 million, but you know what? I don't even care about fees anymore. Just get them all in. Get them all in. I don't care. Overpay for him. Overpay for him. Let's just overpay all round. We're paying money. It's like we're a slot machine, and then we're just paying out. We are just paying out at the moment. So
we're just a bank for Premier League teams at this point. That's what we are.
Exactly. At least we're signing good players. That's all I can say. I'm delighted we're signing good players, and we're not overpaying for rubbish, because we have overpaid in the past. There's been overpaying for terrible players. So I think we're probably doing the right thing at the moment, course correcting in our approach. And I do think we'll go back into for Savinho. I think he's one we've been targeting for a while. I think he's one De Zerbi's going to like a lot. I think he's one we could do with. We don't really have. I mean, we have Kudus, but apart from Kudus, we don't really have too many proper creators on the wings. So I think him and Kudus, as I've said before, would be a dynamite partnership in terms of creativity. I think we'll go back in for him.
Yeah, look, I've always said, I like Savinho, but I said that I don't want him to be our only winger signing this summer. So if we're going to bring him in plus another one, if that's the plan, then I'm all for it, mate. Bring in Savinho, bring in another one on top of that. Just keep bringing in players. But, I mean, we are literally just signing a whole new team at this point. This is what we're doing.
Literally. I do wonder if there's going to be even more. There's going to be even more surprise sales, even more surprise. I don't know who it could be, but the amount of players we're signing, they're saying 10 could leave. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head who those 10 could be, but there might be some really ruthless ones.
I love it how De Zerbi said at the end of the season, I don't want to make too many changes. Do you remember he said that?
Yeah. I only need we only need a few players, not too many. I don't want to change too much. That's what he said. That's gone out the window very quickly.
Crazy. So that's Savinho. The one that's going wild at the moment is Ellie Junior Kroupi of Bournemouth. Now, this one would blow me away if we get this in. I love this player so much. Can play 9, 10, left wing, all to a really good level as well. He's shown it in the French League and the Premier League. So the updates regarding him is Miguel Delaney says that Kroupi heads the list for Tottenham targets for left forward as they continue as one of the biggest spending windows in the Premier League. The Bournemouth star is wanted by Arsenal and PSG, and the South Coast club would want a figure north of 80 million to part ways for the 20-year-old. SZY says that Tottenham have now scheduled talks with Ellie Junior Kroupi's camp soon. Bournemouth will want at least 90 million. Understand talks were held in March with Kroupi's camp regarding the possibility of a potential move this summer. Kroupi is understood to be open to a move to Tottenham. Spurs Journo says that Tottenham have real interest in Kroupi as an attacking target. Expected fee nearing 100 million euros, that is, but not seen as an issue. Heard from Spurs says that Kroupi, even being slightly interested, is massive. Fee 100 million pounds plus. From what I was told last night, Arsenal and PSG sniffing around as well. So yeah, everyone's saying like a slightly different fee, 80, 90, 100, what have you. I mean, this guy is proper star quality. And I kept saying we need goal scorers in the team. We need someone that can put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, this guy comes in straight away as the best finisher at the club. I mean, he's one of the best finishers in the Premier League, in my opinion, with his finishing ability. And he's so much more than that as well. He can come deep. He can link the play. He's creative. I mean, he's got it all, Kroupi. It's interesting that Miguel Delaney calls him like a left forward. I know he can play there, but I would say his best position is probably number 9.
It's an interesting one. I think that is his best position, like long term. I think he wants to be a striker. I think in the Premier League so far, I think his best work has probably done part like just behind Evan Nilsson. I think that's when he did his best.
In the second striker kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of second striker, yeah. Because I feel like him up front on his own doesn't quite work just yet. Maybe physically he's not quite there to play the lone role. And like, you know, when he's up against big centre backs and he has to like shield the ball and that kind of stuff, he can kind of go missing a bit. But when he's got Evan Nilsson to like help him out with that, then all of a sudden he finds those pockets of space. He becomes alive, and him in and around like when they call that zone 14, that central, you know, any space he's got near that central zone to get a shot off, he is absolutely deadly. We've seen that. I wouldn't say he's a winger, but I definitely think, a left forward, he can definitely do that in like a 4-3-3, or maybe if we 3-4-3, like inside kind of left forward. I definitely think he could do that role as well. So a really good standard. I'm a massive fan of his. I think the way he's taken to the Premier League is so impressive in his first season, you know, as a teenager, coming from the second division in France, you know, they signed him for 12 million. And when you take that into consideration, he got 13 goals last season. The guy's a star in the making. Everyone can see the ability. I wonder if we're looking at him specifically, not obviously because he's quality. I wonder if we're looking at him because if you look at all our attacking options, obviously we need a striker. But right now you've got Odebear on an ACL. You've got Maddison come back from an ACL. You've got Xavi on an ACL. You've got Decky. We don't really know what's going on. So in terms of that number 10 position, I've always said like we need. I mean, in theory, we probably do need someone there, but we do right now have Maddison, Decky, and Xavi. But we don't really know if we can rely on that. But that is 3 players.
Gallagher as well. Don't forget Gallagher.
We have Gallagher, I know, but in terms of like, yeah, we have Gallagher, but I don't think he's a true number 10. But anyway, we have Gallagher. But my point, like, in terms of like real creative or attacking forces in that position, we only have those 3. And out of those 3, we don't even know who you can rely on. Maybe Maddison's your best bet, but he's just come back from an ACL, so you don't really know. So I wonder if they're looking at Kroupi and they're thinking he can help out in the number 10 while we're figuring that position out with Maddison and Decky, and he can play their shadow striker, maybe to Solanke, or maybe even a different forward. He can then, once we sort, if Maddison's ready or Decky's ready, and once Jerry comes back, then he can also play number 9, and that's going to be his long-term position anyway. And, you know, while Odebear's got the ACL, obviously we're going to sign a winger anyway, but he could also fill in that position. I do wonder if we're, all these signings, if we're looking at Decky, maybe even Xavi and Odebear, and we're like, maybe we're just going to like crack on without them, and just like, if they come back, maybe we'll just sell them, and we're just going to go like act as if they're not part of the squad at the moment, because there's so like, I think we fell into that trap last season of just like hoping these players come back, and obviously they're paying their wages on the book, so you know you've got they are still there, so you've got to take it into account. But we obviously didn't do enough in last season when thinking about the fact we've got Decky and Maddison both on ACLs. We didn't do enough to account for that. So I wonder if we're just going to overcompensate and we're just going to deal with whatever comes with these ACLs later, and not even like, and maybe even sell them and be just ruthless. Like once they come back, all right, you're up for sale now, and just be ruthless like that. I do wonder.
I wouldn't say as harshly as to say as soon as they come back they're going to be up for sale, particularly with Xavi Simons, because I think Xavi Simons, De Zerbi really likes him. I think he's got star quality. I think he's got a massive future. for Spurs. So I would say that, particularly with Javi Simmons, you'd have to assess that when he comes back, and maybe Kroupi moves into more of a number 9 role. Maddison obviously ain't getting any younger, is he? So when next summer comes, it might be a situation where we look to move Maddison on, or maybe in 2 years' time we look to move Maddison on, and Javi to take that role that Maddison's been filling in the squad. So I wouldn't say we'll be looking to move Javi Simmons on, but there's definitely a case for it for Odegaard, for sure. We'll have
Maybe
to wait and see
Decky. Maybe if we can get a buy for Decky, maybe.
Well.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. But it's a situation you have to assess at a time, because De Zerbi would want to have a look at them in training and see how they are. They could make a comeback, and they could come back into the team. You know, Odegaard was looking good before he got that injury. Javi Simmons was looking dynamite before he got that injury. So
yeah, but we're signing 3 forwards. We're saying.
Yeah, I know. You know, you never know what can happen. Tell might not, like his role in the team next season. He might look to leave next summer, or look to leave in January if he's not getting the game time that he wants. You know, there's so many different variables that can go into it by the time Odegaard and Javi come back into the team. So I think Javi for sure has got the quality to fight his way back in. Odegaard's a difficult one. I think Odegaard might be the one that we might move on when he comes back, but Javi definitely not, I don't think.
It's not even a quality thing. It's just we've got so many of these long-term injury players, and all of a sudden you're like looking at the squad and like it's just so injury prone, and all these players coming back from long-term injuries. Maybe we're just going to have to make some ruthless decisions. I do wonder whether they will. Anyway, it's a bit of a conversation for another time. But in terms of Kroupi, yeah, I think he fulfills a lot of roles, and I think he's for me. Look, again, is it an overpayment? Yes. Do I care? No. Kroupi would 100% be near the top of my list when it comes to an attacker. He fulfills so many different roles. He ticks so many boxes for me, and he's only going to get better. The only problem is, just like with Tonali and Fernandes, there's going to be a hell of a lot of interest in him, and there's going to be other clubs. But just like Tonali and Fernandes, maybe we could beat the competition and put the money where our mouth is. Are Arsenal, are PSG, are these other clubs prepared to pay the 100 million? Obviously, PSG just got a big windfall from AC Milan for Ramos. Obviously, PSG never have any problems spending that money. But I'm just saying, you know, when we looked at Tonali, we looked at Fernandes, the reality is, as good as those players were, the other teams were not prepared to pay that money, and we were. Could the same be for Kroupi? Could we outbid them? Could that be something we do? But the thing is with Kroupi, I think there's so much interest. I heard one report there's even Liverpool and Chelsea and all these things. So again, it's going to be so difficult. But you know what? After what we've just done in this last week, who would bet against it right now of hearing an agreement?
I don't think PSG would go to that kind of figure for what would be a backup for them. Let's be honest. They got Ousmane Dembele, they've got Kvaratskhelia, they've got Desiree Doué. Ellie Kroupi doesn't get close to those 3 players just yet. You know, he's not at that level. So I don't think they pay 100 million for what would be a backup next season. Arsenal, are they going to pay 100 million for him, or are they going to pay close to 100 million for him? I don't think they would. So
if they sell Gyökeres, maybe.
Yeah, maybe if they sell Gyökeres, but there's no serious talk of that, is there? And he's only been there 1 season, and he had a decent goal return last year. So I think they'll probably back him to do better next season. So they are talking about selling Gabriel Jesus, so maybe they do need another striker. But are they going to spend 100 million to bring in Kroupi? I just don't see it, to be honest. Which is mad to think like Spurs are the ones that are willing to put more money down than anyone in world football. Is that what we're saying?
But when you look at it, in the Premier League, in terms of the big clubs, we're the most in need of a striker, aren't we? Arsenal have Gyökeres and Havertz. I don't know if they're going anywhere right now. City has Haaland. Chelsea, well, they've got João Pedro, and I know they've got Liam Delap, but they might end up selling him. Liverpool got Ekitike and Isaac. I know Ekitike is injured right now, but they've got 2 big money forwards there. So we could sell it to Kroupi. You come here, you're our starting player, mate. You're in the team every week, either up front or in the 10, wherever. You're going to be our guy next season. We're going to, you're going to be scoring hatfuls of goals. De Zerbi's going to love you. We're going to make full use of your finishing. You're going to grow as a player. You're not going to be on the bench at all. You're never going to be on the bench. Whereas you go to these big clubs, there's going to be, he's going to be a rotation player. You come here, you're our star man, you're our star name. So we could sell it to him like that, and maybe we've done that to these other players as well, and sell on this project. Look, all I know is one call from De Zerbi. That's all it's going to take.
That's all it needs. And Are we genuinely saying here we're going to bring in 3 players and they're all going to be above 60, 70 million? Is that what we're saying?
Well, let's say we signed
How
him
much
for
money
100.
can we genuinely spend, like
Well,
realistically?
let's say, but let's say we signed him for 100. Let's say we signed Savinho for 60, right? And let's say we signed another winger for 80, let's say, right? So that's 100. That's another 240 million on top of what we just spent. What have we just spent?
About you're losing count on the money. About 230, 240 million.
So we've just 240 on top of the 240 we've just spent on Tonali, Fernandes, and Van Hecke. So that's 480 million we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then you minus the sales of I don't know, Romero, Vicario,
Vuskovic
50 for Vuskovic. You know, you're potentially talking about 150 to 200 million pounds in sales. So then you're talking about spending 380 million. Now, that sounds like a lot, and it is a hell of a lot of money. But when you consider, I think Chelsea have spent that amount, more than that in windows. Liverpool have spent more than that in the last window. Spent over 500. You know, so it's Arsenal have spent. I don't know if they've done it one window, but I can't remember. They've done big outlays, and obviously you got to remember over the course of time, you know, we've haven't spent this kind of money on players. So I mean, if we're talking about a net spend of 350, 380 million, I mean, it sounds ridiculous because Tottenham have never done it, but is it possible? Maybe it is. Plus, you've got the 100 million pound investment.
I love it how we're just talking about like 80, 90, 100 millions like it's nothing. Like,
apparently it is. Apparently it is nothing. Judging by this week, apparently it is nothing. A news to me. But Vinay has gone from the finances on as on what I thought they were to here's 92 million. Take it.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I just can't get my head around it. I just cannot get my head around all this. But look, bring Kroupi, man. Kroupi would be a star for us. I really believe that. I think
I love Kroupi. The only reservation is for me is he is young, and I know he's done really well at Bournemouth, but he is very young. So having him as your star striker right now, you know, he's going to need some support, and I don't know if Solanke's enough. Maybe he is, or might need another one. But I absolutely love the player, and I think he's got world-class potential. I think he's on his way, well on his way there. His finishing ability is to die for. So I absolutely would love Kroupi at Tottenham, and I would spend 100 million.
Wow. Well, to be honest, 100 million is nothing for us. So yeah, why not? Last but not least, we talk about Rafael Leao. As Miguel Delaney said, it's understood that Rafael Leao has been broached as an option in informal discussions with Milan. However, Himothy said he is an option, but we want better than Rafael Leao, which is like Rafael Leao's an option. Like, not for me. Good enough.
I actually think we can get him. I actually think he's gettable. Like, I don't even think
he wants to leave. He wants to go to Premier League.
Yeah, and I don't think many clubs are really that interested because there's question marks about his attitude and stuff, and he hasn't had the best season. So I actually think if we want him, we could get him. If he's wanting to come to the Premier League, we could probably give him the best financial package. I actually think even in a normal scenario, I don't think it's like a crazy thing. I said before, I love him as a player, and I think he's got unbelievable ability and quality. And if he had the mentality of I don't know who to say, like a Bellingham or something, like I think he would be just world class. Like I just think he would just be one of the best players in the league, but something's holding him back. I don't know what it is. I can't really say. I don't watch him week in, week out. I've heard he doesn't track back. He think maybe he's got a bit too much of a prima donna. Maybe he thinks he's too much of the main man. Like maybe he thinks he can be like a Messi or Ronaldo, where he doesn't have to run and he can just get the ball and score, and that's enough. Where is he good enough to justify that? I'm not 100% sure what the problem is with him, but there is something holding him back. But the truth is, if you can unlock him and you can get the best out of him, I would 100% get him in the team, but it's about whether that's possible, whether De Zerbi thinks he can do that, whether it's worth the risk. You know, I don't think we're talking about 100 million here. We're probably talking about 60 million. So it's not like as big outlay as the other players. Although his wages, he's probably going to ask for a pretty penny, I'm assuming.
You know. By the way, Sib, you talk about it's only 60 million. 2 days ago, that was our record transfer.
I know. But we've broken it twice. What's 60 million in this day and age? You said you'd only accept Gray for 60. So if Gray is 60, well, what's 60 million?
That's true.
But so Leao, I think I don't think we do it. What I do think is we've got other targets who we are more sure about.
Be a fullback option.
It's one of those ones where, like in August, where if like Kroupi's broken down and these others are broken down, and we need a bit of a star name to make a bit of a statement in the window. You know that if Leao, we announce Leao in August, everyone's going to be buzzing. They know that's like an easy win, even though there are problems with it. Everyone's going to go overboard if we sign Leao. That's the truth. So I think he's definitely an option, but I don't think we're going to go for him right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I just feel like he could be that fullback option. Looks like Kroupi and maybe Savinho will be the next two that we seriously target. And if we get Kroupi and Savinho, let's say in the next 10 days, that leaves us with so long just to go get one last player. And to get all the players out.
I don't know if that's going to happen just yet, but maybe if we can do that, yeah. But look, it looks like we're going for them and that we're serious talks.
What did you say? You didn't even think Tonali was fathomable before he was first linked. True. 10 days later, he's his first player.
You're spot on, but I'm not going to sit here and say in 10 days we're going to have Kroupi and Savinho wrapped up as well. We might do. Maybe. Who knows? You know what? I can't rule it out. But I don't think we will. I think it's going to rumble on a bit.
Dream big. Dream big.
Dream big is getting them in at all. Well, they have to be in the next 10 days.
If it's 11 days, then I'm ENIC out again.
But yeah, unbelievable. But yeah.
Yeah, look, big stuff happening at Tottenham Hotspur. The ever-evolving situation of the transfer window is just nuts. Spurs have attacked this transfer window like we've never attacked anything before. It is quite something to behold. And I think everyone around Tottenham, the rival fans and everything, are starting to look up and being like, what the hell is going on at Tottenham Hotspur? And I'm all here for it. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you